Hello everyone and welcome to another bass singer first time reaction and analysis. My name is Peter Barber. I am primarily a professional opera singer, music producer, and of course a bass vocalist. Today, for the first time, after many requests, we're going to be checking out FORESTELLA, which I haven't really done any research aside to find out that they are a South Korean crossover male vocal quartet. That's all I've heard so far about them. So guys, throw the video a like, please subscribe to the channel, super helpful, and of course for the algorithm, if you'd be so kind, leave a comment. It could literally just be like, hi Peter. Super helpful to get this video out to more eyes and ears. And if I'm really enhancing your listening experience, if you find that my breakdowns, my analysis of this music is helping you enjoy the music more, please consider donating to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month, with many more benefits going up and up the tier level. So that'd be much appreciated. At least go check it out. Link is in the description below. But listen, I've got my keyboard here. I got the audio recording. I've got the video pulled up. Let's go ahead and dive in. I have genuinely no idea what to expect. Let's do it. Okay, before we even get into it, this is on some kind of show, I guess, or some kind of live performance. I guess there's a lot of choreography. I'm assuming this is not the actual group, that this is a dance group that is going to be performing in sequence with the singing performance, unless they also do a bunch of choreo as well, but it looks like there's 4 people in the singing group, as far as I know. Also, forgot to mention this earlier, this will be not only a reaction, but an analysis. So I will be pausing a lot, especially to talk about vocal technique. That is what I do over here on this channel. I will leave a link to the original video below for you to go watch it all the way through if you haven't seen it, and then come back to this video if you want to learn about what's happening vocally. So just a little disclaimer there. Okay, lead singer's a bass, possibly. Definitely lower than what I was expecting. Certainly lower than the singers you hear in BTS, for example. Ra, 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 ra. So we're down to just an A flat 2, just like dipping into that low baritone bass range. But you can hear in the timbre of this singer's voice. And again, I don't know the singers yet. I don't even know the group yet. You can hear that this singer has the ability to dip down into that bass range. And as far as technique at this point, it's soft singing. It's a pretty intimate kind of singing. There's a lot of air escaping through the vocal folds, which means there isn't very tight vocal fold closure. So you get a more breathy sound. If you have essentially loose vocal fold closure without getting too sciencey just yet, you get a more breathy sound because more air is coming through, like a ra ra ra. If it was more, if the vocal folds are coming together more tightly during each of their oscillations, you'd get a ra ra ra, which is much tighter. There's a lot more high harmonics in the sound. That's what creates cut in the sound, what we use as opera singers to compete with the orchestra without microphone. But right now, what we've got, which you can do with a microphone and a big sound system, is you can sing very breathy, sing however you want, and because it's going through amplification, you'll never have an issue being heard in this setting. So the singer's adopting a nice breathy onset and phonation technique. So you already heard from this bass singer, rah, rah. After those first few sequences, they started adopting a technique with I'll go into it now, a higher closed quotient. That means the percentage of time during each oscillation of the vocal folds where they're closed. And a higher close quotient means a tighter vocal fold closure. It means more high harmonics in the sound, and it also means a louder sound subsequently. So went from a lower close quotient with the breathy sound to a higher close quotient, and you hear that in the resonance. Ra, ra. It goes from like ra, ra to ra, ra. There's no more effort. It's just a tighter vocal fold closure. There's that shift, very clear shift in timbre.
I want your ugly, I want your disease. I want your everything as long as it's free. I want your love.
I want your love. I want your love. So down to an E flat 2. Definitely a bass here for this first soloist.
I want your everything as long as it's free. I want your love. Love, love, love.
I want your love. And they are doing some kind of choreo for sure. I think there'll probably be a little bit of choreo from the singers. It's really tough to sing well doing complicated choreo. So often in performances, you'll have the lead singers like this do a kind of light version of the choreo while the actual dancers in the background do the kind of full version. It makes for a great show, so I'm excited to see where they go with this.
Love, 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 I want your love. I want your trouble, your touch of your hand. I want your latest studies, kissing the sand. I want your love. Love, 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 I want your love.
So now we have bass and tenor singing the same melody in 2 different octaves. Both adopting a relatively high close quotient. They're no longer singing breathy. There's a purity to the sound, to the phonation. Very interesting arrangement, very different from the original. Same tempo, of course. I don't know the original key, so I can't comment on that. But as far as what's happening in the background, this is more stripped down and more, it doesn't have all of the kind of mainstreamy synth sounds that the Lady Gaga version has. So it makes for a very interesting kind of eerie soundscape, which I guess is coordinating with what we have happening in the background here with this kind of haunted house, with this kind of spooky FORESTELLA. I don't know if that's part of why they do that. But it's all working together to it's a little bit on edge, right? It's not necessarily this perfectly aesthetic performance, and clearly they're not going for that. It's evoking more than that, which I think is great in art. Not all art should be the kind of stereotypically beautiful soundscape that you might be used to listening to the radio. I think it's great when art kind of evokes a more visceral response, if you will. Nice. So now we've got more orchestration happening in the background. Of course, we have a tenor taking so up to A flat 4, which is pretty high already. In a pure chest voice, that is already getting pretty high. This singer handles it flawlessly. We've got a bit more movement in the strings and the orchestration in the background. The drums are staying pretty consistent. And then, of course, while that lead singer has taken over, we have the 3 singers in the background doing a bit of vocal harmony to assist in that delivery. Again, with the bass doubling that melody 1 octave down, or call it, 1 octave down. So we've got bass, tenor singing the melody, and the 2 others doing some kind of additional harmony. Whoa, what a crazy interlude. So there's like this weird chromaticism happening in the strings, and you've got the rah, 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 which is a really interesting take, and I think adds a lot of interest into this piece. Totally changes it. Just very dissonant. It's all perfectly fitting with the media we have here in the background, with this haunted kind of scary, almost Stranger Things looking vibe happening in the background. Very, very cool take on this song. Very cool arrangement. And something very... Sorry, I think at an A flat 5. So dissonant. Oh. Crunch. That was crunchy. Ooh, that was so crunchy. Well, there's a lot going on there. One more playback, then we'll let it go. This is just very interesting. Like a weird key change there? And we're up a half step. That was a key change. So pretty much a return to the first verse. Now there's a little bit more of that. There's like some kind of like dark, like auto-filtered, essentially dark-sounding synths in the background happening in coordinates with this like war-like battle drum action happening. Similar structurally as far as vocals go with lead soloist. Every once in a while, someone from the background will chime in and either double that or sing a harmony or an echo. But vocally, similar structure to the first verse there. I want your love. I love it's so like. Would this group be K-pop outside of this setting? That's what I would guess. It's very. I think it's rare to hear bass singers in K-pop. It's actually rare to hear bass singers outside of anything but classical music and country music. Really, they're just far less common to hear. So it's really it's unique and really cool to hear a real bass voice in a group like this. I'm of course not biased at all. When you in my rear window, baby, you see I want your love, 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 love. I want your love. Oh yeah. I want your love and I want your revenge. You and me could write a bad romance. Now we've got very heavy string and orchestral involvement, along with all the voices now firing, making for this kind of wall of sound. I talk a lot about presenting contrast in the music to where you want to start out relatively simple and stripped down so that it gives you a place to go within the context of the music. And now what we're getting now, like if you compare this, actually I'll just jump back really quick. So we're at minute 236. Let's go back to the beginning just so you can hear how this starts and compare how many elements we're hearing compared to where the song started. This is where we're starting. Okay? Now, hold that in your brain and listen to this. Major contrast, right? Which is what's keeping us engaged. It's what's keeping us interested in what's happening next. So it's a great thing to have in a song. It's great to have contrast. If stuff just repeats kind of willy-nilly, it gets boring very fast, especially for our human brains in 2022 that have been oh so trained to be overstimulated by short-form TikTok videos, reels, YouTube shorts, you know, to keep someone's attention even for a 3-minute video at this point, it has to have something grabbing about it. That was cool. So usually the bass voice will take what's called the tonic, or it will highlight the core of the chord structure, but that time our bass singer actually was singing harmonies, lower harmonies. Me could write a bad romance, me could write a bad romance, would have been kind of what you expect, 5-1, but he went, me could write a bad, was doing the leading tone up to the 1. Rare to hear that in the bass line. And his singing, he's more in baritone range now, of course. He's not, me could write a bad romance, me could write a bad romance, but even so, it is the lowest voice part in this ensemble at the moment. And isn't it interesting how timbrally it sticks out so much? Even singing similar pitches, the bass voice just has that timbre it's so obviously different from the other three. I'm caught in a bad romance. It has that warmth and that space to it, which the other voices do not because they're higher sitting voices. Oh, even a little bit of vibrato happening there. Of course, I can respect that. Just a crazy ensemble of synths and instruments, and it's very different from the original. And if you guys have watched my videos before, I love that. I love when groups really go for it with a cover and really make it their own. Even if I don't agree with the artistic choices or don't like them, I will always respect when a group really makes a strong artistic choice to make a song their own. And these guys are absolutely doing that.
And I want your revenge. I want your love. I wanna be friends. Je veux ton amour et je veux ta revanche. Je veux ton amour.
Not bad French either. Je veux ton amour et je veux ta revanche. Revanche, ta revanche.
Amour et je veux ta revanche. Je veux ton amour. I wanna be friends.
Now they're building back up. Now even more elements, and now we've got the even more consistent drums. I think that was a tenor high C there from our high voice here. Makes sense in our A minor that we shifted to. A really chest dominant high C there, tenor high C. You can tell it's chest dominant because of the quality of the sound. You can tell that this singer is really stretching their vocal folds to get up there, and it's not a light like I'm singing it because I obviously don't have a high C in chest voice. You can tell they're really, it's a full-on belt. It's a full-on belt, and they're in a chest-dominant voice here. Essentially yelling, like healthy yelling. Oh man, they're loving it. Yeah. We've got everything. We've got all the orchestration. We've got the drums going crazy. We've got all four singers going crazy with their own added spins, their own added riffs. We've got the bass doing like some kind of quasi-operatic technique, which adds a little bit of intensity and thickness to the sound. It's everything. This is what you want in the climax of a song. Now, again, I'm going to go back to the beginning and then bump forward just so we can hear the contrast again. So this is how it starts. All the way to... radically different. Nothing short of epic for FORESTELLA on this song. Really cool to hear, and I keep checking this because I keep my videos under 30 minutes. We're good. We're doing perfectly on time. Really cool to hear a true bass voice in what I'm going to call a K-pop group until I further hear. Really cool to see this ensemble of orchestration and synths and crazy kind of dark visuals accompanied by a really interesting, darker, eerier vibe in the arrangement of the song. I love that they took their own, they made this song their own. They really changed it from the Lady Gaga original. It's an interesting blend of voices. We had some really nice high C belts from the one singer. We had nice lows from the bass singer. There was so much contrast from the start of the song to where we ended up. So FORESTELLA has a new fan. I think this is really fun, really exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed my commentary and analysis. Please do throw a thumbs up on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and leave a comment for sure. And if you want to go one step further, if you feel like you learned a lot during this video, if I helped you enjoy and hear things you hadn't heard before in the song, consider donating to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month, with escalating benefits as you go up the tier ladder. I actually just added some very cool new ones. So check out the Patreon, link in the description. And until next time, until the next FORESTELLA, for the new FORESTELLA fans, welcome. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.